When we win, we get it back, then we take it on back to a ladder so unbalanced. It's the Masochist challenge.
Hello and welcome into the episode. We are starting off today at the very bottom of Platinum Tier 5. And in some ways, this is where it feels like the season actually begins for me each month, because the wins in gold, are guaranteed rank ups eventually. So it's just a matter of patience kind of climbing through gold. Whereas obviously the rank ups in platinum are not guaranteed. So I've been in Platinum Tier 4 a few times, and generally what happens at that point is I'll rank down once again. So the goal for this month, I do want to try and chip away at it. I don't know that I can consistently win enough to get to Platinum Tier 3, but that's kind of, let's call it a stretch goal for this month. And beyond that, just trying to shore up the strategies we have. I mean, last time we pulled some Tier Limits cards, some Radiant Typhoon cards, and so it does feel like in a few different areas, not necessarily just those ones, that we're just a few cards away from something really cool. And so I want to keep on going, trying to get further and further, and maybe building out some new strategies eventually. With all of that being said, I will see you in the duels. Here we are, step 1 accomplished. I have won the coin toss, but step 2, get a playable hand. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. Well, that intro feels a little silly now. Platinum Tier 5 is like peak, like nobody wants to go second, they just quit out and go next. But it looks like we've gotten an ultra rare for our lack of effort. So anyway, Anti-GMX Final Experiment, very new card there. There's no shot that I could ever use GMX though, I don't think. Vylon Component, sure. Another Magnum Shield, I think I just pulled that like last episode maybe. Chain Dispel. When a spell trap card is activated, destroy all cards in the controller's deck with the same name as the activated card. Ooh, No Punk Ogre Dance. Forget the on-field effect. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Add a punk monster from your deck to your hand, except a level 8. So the only other punk cards that I have are Deer Note and Foxy Tune. So of course the one that I would want to search there is Foxy Tune, but this is pretty spicy if we ever get the level 3 searcher. The name is escaping me at the moment, but Xiamen, that's what it is. So if we ever pull a Xiamen, now we have a searcher for Xiamen. Pretty sweet. Deep Sea Artisan, apparently not my first of that. Sunvine Gardener, another one that I think I just pulled recently. And what is the ultra rare? Ooh, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Actually a competitive rank 8. Once per turn, when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, you can negate that effect, and if you do, attach that card to this card as material. And then the somewhat secret effect that people forget about: when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach a material from this card, change the attack target to this card, and perform damage calculation. Seen a lot of people mess that one up. If another face-up Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a face-up Xyz monster you control. It gains attack equal to one of those destroyed monsters' original attack. So pretty sweet rank 8 there, with a spell trap negate to boot. Very strong pack to start with. I'm not sure we're going to be able to top that the rest of the night, but I will certainly try my best. Yeah, let's keep on moving through Platinum. Okay, loading in, going first once more. Our opponent's on 53 and 15 with a bunch of the new for hire stuff. I guess we have to go for the Pot of Desires, Banishing the Fusion Destiny, and a Brick. The draw 2 pretty sweet there. Do they have anything at this juncture? Max C. Well, I will give them one draw just for the sake of having interactions. I might have done Sprite Elf instead, but under Max C, I'd rather maximize the amount of interactions off of the one card draw. So let's try to set. Go for the Statue of Anguish pattern. Maybe Clockwork Knight messes them up. They are on the fur hire stuff, so I think some of that stuff wants different types of monsters. And Jirai Gumo in the EMZ zone. EMZ zone, kind of like ATN machine. Repeated that last letter. Bestial Druisworm. Okay. And Fleur-de-Lis, also okay. Not seeing anything I need to respond to yet. Battle phase, so they will get 500 damage in, but that's fine. Okay, now let's high five. Neato. Setting a monster. They've already Max C'd, and there's only one copy of Max C anymore, so I'll just pop that set monster, because I think it might be Alistair or like a Shadal or something. It's Mercurier. That's interesting. Nothing to it but to do it here. Let's pop the Dogmatica. And now we can start dealing with other stuff. Bring back Sillahat Rabbit. And then SP Little Knight to banish the Druisworm. Now, you know, I have Tiki Curse in hand, so I really should have kept Statue of Anguish pattern. Can't attack directly, so they will not die this turn, but that doesn't mean that I can't try and hold my position a little more strongly. Have to leave it there for now. The Golden Sword Soul. That was enough for them. Okay. I thought for sure after seeing that Max C that I was done for, but turns out you just never know. Ooh, and an ultra rare. Love to see it. Witchcrafter by Streets. Pretty nice. And most Witchcrafters require discarding from hand. That one you can send from field as a replacement instead, and it also protects them from destruction. You can send it instead. Not bad, not bad. Hieratic Seal, Battle and Boxer Counterpunch, Mythical Beast Medusa. If you have no card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can target one monster in your graveyard that you can place a spell counter on, destroy this card, and if you do, special summon that monster, and if you do that, place a spell counter on it. And then on the field, each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on this card when that spell resolves. Once per turn during the battle phase, quick effect, you can remove 2 spell counters from your field, then target a face-up monster on the field. Its attack and defense becomes half its current attack and defense until the end of this turn. Not bad. I mean, it's an attack modifier, so you could do it in damage step and get over anything under 3k. And it goes with the Servant of Endymion that I pulled recently because, you know, it's another spell counter card. Heroic Challenger Ambush Soldier, Black Illusion Ritual, Steel Star Regulator, nice little low rarity Link 3 kind of boss monster. Gains attack equal to the combined original levels / ranks of monster used for its Link summon times 100. So if you use a bunch of really high level monsters, this thing gets rather big. You can target one non-Link monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card, destroy it, then if this card was Link summoned using an Xyz monster's material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the destroyed monster's original attack. This is honestly pretty decent. Especially, you know, if I get into a place where I'm bringing back Link 2s with Sprite Elf and I have the material on field. Sometimes there are low attack monsters that are still a threat for other reasons that this thing could pop pretty easily. So certainly something to consider. I'll maybe move around a different Link monster for that one. What is the ultra rare? The new Rescue Ace. Okay, Rescue Ace Arbitrator. If this card is Link summoned, you can add a Rescue Ace Hydrant or Rescue Ace HQ from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I think I actually do have the Hydrant, I'll double check that. If you activate a Rescue Ace Quick Play spell card or Rescue Ace Normal Trap card, you can target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. I guess, you know, I was talking about, or I have been talking about, the Fire Warrior kind of stuff that I've been brewing, so this is technically playable in that, you know, Link summon this with a bunch of fire monsters and then add the Hydrant, or if I end up getting the field spell. So maybe a potential boss monster for that if I can slop together enough fire stuff. Pretty decent pack to start with, honestly. Let's keep going. No, I say to start with, that was the second one. Anyway. Okay, loading in going first, and we're being held up in draw phase here. The hand is technically playable. The question is, do I want to give them Click and Echo? Don't think I have a choice. No trap monsters in hand, always good to double check. Let's see what we're dealing with. Maybe we see this hand and we just surrender immediately. Oh boy. Well, this is a very weird hand that they've got going on here. I do think I'm going to extend, seeing as how they don't have any interaction. Try to draw for something more to play with. Doing all of this with both DPE bricks, by the way. Can I banish the Fusion Destiny? Nope, not that skillful. I drew the Fusion Destiny, but of course I'm locked from Gigantic Sprite. Okay. I honestly was just fishing for more like trap monsters or whatever, but let's Little Knight banish the Click and Echo so they have less to work with. And if I can survive until next turn, then Fusion Destiny puts me in a good position. We know they don't have a hand trap. Okay, Area 0, the draw for turn. Looks like they're gonna make an honest go of it. What's the set card? It's the Makonko Fire Dance. Alright, in damage step, I'll negate my own SP Little Knights so that they die. Interesting. Don't have my light stage target. I guess I banished it off of Desires. I know that that card in the back row doesn't actually do anything, but might as well make them send it away so they can't use it with Area 0 or whatever. The cards that they have are so random that honestly this could be a bot. For a second I was thinking maybe like some kind of Masochist thing, but anyway, let's just plow through, try to get another pack. I do appreciate the win rate buff. Yeah, I'll get little dude. Okay, ultimate bot check. Can they resolve light stage? They can. They can. Maybe it's automatic. Not even summoning. Don't want to blow up the Sky Striker field spell because it actually does have an effect to special a Sky Striker ace. Come on back, boy. And let's just go 25 to the face. GG's. Third pack of the night. Going pretty smoothly so far. Omega Judgment. Target a face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone, and 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy them. I mean, that's an interesting card to have. There's plenty of cards these days that put monster cards in the spell and trap zone, but that's not even half bad. Gladiator Beast Octavius. Gravity Controller. That is a nice thing to have in the toolbox. Cannot be used as link material the turn it is link summoned. This card in the extra monster zone cannot be destroyed by battle of the monster in the main monster zone. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone, you can return both that opponent's monster and this card to the deck. It is removal for like EMZ monsters. And then the requirement here is just a non-link in an extra monster zone. The classic use case for this was you would fusion into like Shadal Construct, Foolish with Shadal Construct, do whatever else, and then link off with Gravity Controller to get the graveyard effect of the Shadal. And there's been other use cases over the years, but classic card. Glad to have it in the collection. Shining Hope Road. What is this? Okay, Xyz Summon Utopia stuff. Got it. Nordic Beast card. Magical Musket, Crooked Crown. Okay. Smile World. All face-up monsters currently on the field gain 100 attack for each monster currently on the field until the end of this turn. To play with like Performa Pals and stuff, I guess. And Vendread Anima. I'm not sure how much of the Vendread stuff I have, but you know, it's technically a decent low rarity archetype. Right, so I mean 7 out of 8 cards new. Can't complain about that, but I think for now I'm just gonna keep on pressing on. Going first up against 60 cards, and oh, thank the Lord for that. This was not a great hand. Okay, let's open up the freebie, I guess. Daruma Dropper. Shock Surprise. Banish up to 2 Speedroid monsters from your graveyard, then target that many cards on the field. Destroy them. Okay. I mean, pretty decent card, and I have Speedroids in my deck, technically. Guard Dragon Pisty, not my first. Automatic Laser. An iron core card, got it. Arrow of Regulus. This was just in the selection pack, so unless I get Regulus, the Prince of Endymion, who is an ultra rare, this card is unusable. Heroic Challenger, Night Watchman. Phantom Knight's Spear. Do you do anything? Each time your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Phantom Knight's monster you control. I do have the rank 3. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. If a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So a really bad inclusion in a mill deck, maybe, for the dark monster protection. And classic Breaker the Magical Warrior. I think maybe this is also a target for Servant of Endymion. Not the greatest one, but still a spell counter card nonetheless. Kind of a mid pack, so decent enough for a freebie, but let's keep going. Okay, going second this time against a 60 card deck. I do have Fusion Destiny in hand and a level 2, so that might be able to convert. Chalice also pretty decent going second, obviously. All comes down to how powerful a board they're going to make. Starting off with the True Sun God. Grabbing Raw. Okay. Why did they want to go first? Terratop is a great starting point, actually, because I can synchro into Spell Trap Destruction before doing the Fusion Destiny. Quitting on the Terratop, wow. Well, what is a god to a spinny little top? Marincess Crown Tail. Is this one any good? During damage calc, if a monster battles another monster, you can send other Marincess monsters from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, the damage you take from that battle is halved. Lame. At the start of the damage step, if an opponent's monster attacks, you can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn you take no battle damage that is less than or equal to the total link rating of the Marincess link monsters in your graveyard times 1,000. That is the worst Marincess card I've ever read, wow. World Legacy World Lance. Monsters your opponent controls cannot attack World Legacy monsters you control except this one. You can only use each of the following effects of World Lance once per turn. During damage calc, if a link monster battles a monster, you can discard this card. The opponent's battling monster loses 3,000 attack. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, special summon one World Legacy token to both players' fields in defense position. So pretty decent as like a Kalut kind of effect for links. If I ever get on the Cybers pile, that might be an inclusion. Top Share, huh. Reveal one card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. Then your opponent reveals one card from their deck and places it on top of their deck. That sounds interesting. You know, if I have like a consistent way of getting that top card, like Hyperia, I guess, I put Fusion Destiny on top and then I do Hyperia, that could be worth it. Seems pretty risky because then they get to also place their best starter on top of their deck or a board breaker. Awakening of the Sacred Beasts. Plunder Patrol, Ship-Shape Ships Shipping. Infernity Sage. Gusto Goldo. And Muddy Mud. This is a pretty decent card. Generic materials for a level 6. This card can be used as a substitute for any one fusion material whose name is specifically listed on the fusion monster card, but the other fusion material must be correct. During your main phase, if you control this synchro summon card, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material, including this card. I used to play this back in the day, like 2021 or something like that, in Virtual World. So you would make Zolkin and do your Crystal Wing, do your other stuff, and then you would use this plus the Zulkin as fusion material to make the Dark Invoked fusion, so that your opponent on their turn could only attempt to activate a single monster effect. Pretty decent card, and allows me to bridge into any fusions that require a named monster, assuming that I can, you know, turbo out the synchro materials necessary. That opens up a lot of things, actually. That's probably the best card so far for the pool that I have anyway. Hold up. Does this mean that I could make like Tearlaments monsters? Like the... never mind. I would need to pull those monsters anyway. I just got excited at the thought. Anyway, let's keep dueling. Okay, loading in, going first, and maybe I need to put the second Lilybell in the deck. Just give myself another level 2 and make it so light stage doesn't brick quite as often. Alright, Terror Top. Let's see if we can excavate a Fusion Destiny. No, but that was pretty good, I guess. Yeah, let's do the usual. Make Bunny. Bunny, set statue. Pot of Desires, pray for more trap monsters. One additional trap monster. And Ascendant of Thunder might be good just to save as a beat stick for later. I don't want to pay 3K right now. Fairy Tale Snow. Machiru in hand or something? Battle phase, huh? No one ever wants to read that part of Silhouette Rabbit. It is an illusion monster. Okay. I guess I'll pop that thing. Ooh, witch. $72 plus the Tiki is plenty for lethal. No interruptions so far. You got an impulse or something? That should be game. GG's. For beating normal summon Snow to high five Rabbit. Let's see what Master Duel thinks I deserve. Draco Senshin. Once per turn, you contribute a dragon. Special summon from your deck a worm with the same level as the attributed monster's original level, and if you do, any monster destroyed by a battle with that monster is shuffled into the deck instead of going to the graveyard. Okay. Alright, I guess. Lila Wrap, second copy of this, so, you know, a more consistent burn card. Vampire Genesis and Yasha the Skeletal Mayakashi, some zombie cards. Good Goblin Housekeeping. Draw cards equal to the number of Good Goblin Housekeeping cards in your graveyard plus 1. Then select a card from your hand and return it to the bottom of your deck. It's So it's technically like a mulligan by itself. Really, it only is any good if you have additional copies in graveyard, obviously. But somewhat interesting, maybe. Roxrose Dragon. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a card that mentions Black Rose Dragon from your deck to your hand. While this card is in your graveyard, if a face-up Rose Dragon monster or plant synchro monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can add this card to your hand. I'll have to see if I have any of the, spell traps this thing can search. It reminds me of the, like Tenyi Rose, like pile, adventure pile that people used to play in the TCG, where this was like a little package in that. So worth looking at. I don't recall pulling one of the Rose Dragon quick plays, but we'll see. Cubic Ascension. Pretty decent if I have Vijam, the Cubic Seed, but I don't think I do. And Resonator Engine. Target 2 Resonator monsters in your graveyard. Add a level 4 monster from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle those into the deck. Not the best Resonator card. So overall, a pretty mid pack, but that Roxrose Dragon is quite tempting. I will take a look at that. Going second, I'm on a bit of a coin toss losing streak at the moment. Losing the coin toss and then loading into a bunch of meta decks. Okay. Maybe a bricked opponent. We love to see it. Let's see if they've got anything for this. They've got a Veiler for that. Grab our extender, maybe. If I'm lucky, they'll also have Droll in hand instead of something they might get to use later. Very nice, very nice. Down to 2 cards in hand. Go ahead and use that imperm. Ah. I see. I mean, with Droll and Veiler, pretty good chance it was going to be something like that. I guess I have to go with the Spell Trap pop. I'll put Jirai Gumo in the EMZ column. Swing for 15. And then popping the spell does nothing. So maybe I just blow up the True Light once they have monsters on the field. Adding Roar and Sage. For sure, for sure. Honestly, they probably should have just like normaled Veiler or Droll, whichever, and done their combo on turn 1. I would not have stood a chance had they done that. Shame that I don't have any effect negation. So she can reactivate it, but unless they have an extender I don't know about, I should be able to cut them off here. Set a spell, sure. Majesty, They must have a Blue Eyes in hand. Roar of the Blue Eyes. Okay. I can pop that. What's the graveyard effect of this thing? Ritual summoning. Okay. The trap card that they set, that is. I said good day, sir. Called by for why? Okay, one less card I have to worry about them activating later, I guess. Gumo. Yep. It's over. Alright, and with that, the session must come to a close. I have 20 legacy packs to open up, and then the final master pack. See if we can get anything cool to finish off with. I can see we already have a holo lined up in the first 10, but we're going to open all 20 right now. Cyber Jar. Interesting. I do have Morphing Jar as well, so I'm slowly getting the pieces together for Empty Jar, I guess. Metamorphosis, pretty cool, recent comeback. I guess I'll have to look at what Metamorphosis targets I have. I doubt that I have. Well, I mean, if it just specials a fusion monster with the same level, it's always possible, I guess. Card of the Soul. Add a monster from your deck to your hand whose sum of attack and defense equals your life points. So if you want to add Obelisk turn 1, that's a good card for that. My first invoked fusion monster, Alistair plus an Earth, the big non-effect guy. Heavy Metal Raiders, also interesting for Dark Machines. Let's take a look at what else might be around here. What's Mist Body? The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle. That's honestly not terrible if I'm on some kind of stun kind of thing. Happy to see a Megalith Ritual as well. If I get, you know, a certain number of those all together, that is certainly something to look at. Gift card if I ever get on Nurse Burn, I suppose. What else? More Performa Pals. Love to see that. Centrifugal Field. When a fusion monster is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, its owner targets a fusion material monster in their graveyard listed on that fusion monster. That player special summons that target. I mean, not terrible by Legacy Pack standards. Gain 3,000, and if this card leaves the field, take 3,000. Okay. And of course the Cloudy and Smoke Ball. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. But anyway, not terrible. I will take a look at Metamorphosis targets. But let's head on to the final Master Pack. Okay, for taking down a fairly bricked up Blue Eyes player, how can we end the evening? Oil Man, level 2. Once per turn, target a machine, equip this card to that, or unequip, and special summon in an attack position. While equipped by this effect, if the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw a card. Not terrible, certainly not great. Predaplant Biplisp does see play in the deck. If it's sent to the graveyard, add a Predaplant monster from deck to hand, so very millable. If a monster with a Predator counter is on the field, you can special this card from the graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Very good for Predaplants. Schiff Fairy of the Goatee. Interesting. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a fish monster you control, gains 500 attack. During the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished, you can special summon this banished card, and then, importantly, during your opponent's main phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, you can quick effect Synchro Summon a fish synchro monster. So I don't recall if I have good fish synchro summon targets. But I do have one of the level 6 goatees that can banish from hand, so that would trigger Schiff. Nice to see that. If I get enough of it, of the goatee cards, and, you know, a good synchro target, that is certainly a package I'm willing to try out. Wish Dragon, a level 2. You can tribute this card, special summon 2 dragon tokens. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except level 5 or higher dragon monsters. Huh. Is the idea that you're using them for, like, some kind of fusion? Interesting. Dwarf Star Dragon Planeter. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned this turn, you can add a level 7 lighter dark monster from your deck to your hand. Maybe there's some utility there. I am running a level 7 light monster, to be fair. Blade Garuda, the Cubic Beast. Cubic, no thanks. Earthbound Linewalker, sure. And Dragoonity Night Gay Derg, a synchro monster that I already have. Not the strongest pack, but the Schiff, you know, maybe that comes up at some point if I get a critical mass of goatee cards, and the Bipe list pretty good too if I ever get some Preda cards. Well, that will draw the episode to a close. Thanks so much for sticking with me as I continue the Masochist journey. If you'd like to keep up with the series, obviously subscribe. But either way, hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.